Hello everyone, this is CJ992 and today we are back with a brand new video. But it's not just a regular video, nah. It is the first reaction video of the season as the SPFL season has obviously kicked off and Rangers didn't disappoint in giving us something to talk about in today's video, because in this video the longer you watch the more detail you'll hear. But in the actual recap, you will see us discuss a Rangers team that concedes to the opposition's first shot after horrific defending. You will see a Rangers team have 84, I'm getting emotional already, 84% of the actual football with 0 shots on target. Going into the second half, we score a perfectly good goal that the linesman just rules for offside. Why? I don't know, people. He's at least a yard onside, followed by a quick-fire dirty double from the Rangers team from an unlikely goal scorer and an unlikely situation that is a free kick. You take all that, you sprinkle it in, you take the stress, the pain and the ticker, and by God, is it good to be back. And honestly, because it is the start of the season, if you are new around here, make sure you be hitting that subscribe button. We are trying to reach 55k. We are less than 350 away, so if you could help us out, that would be greatly appreciated, because we want to get the ball rolling. We want to hit the ultimate dream, so if you can make that a possibility, that would be absolutely sensational. But sensational whiz this game. Again, we've kind of touched around the tent poles of this actual match, but there is so much to actually break down from individual player performances, some good, some horrific. So, no faffing about, diving right in to the game recap. With the game started off positively by Rangers, a lot of good possession. Lawrence, Tavernier linking up very well. A good ball comes in from Tav. Looks like it's going to find Kent, but the goalie just gets enough on it, and you're thinking, right, this is a great start. We're making Tony Macaroni look pretty delicious today. And in the 5th minute, the game happens. Now stop me if you heard me say this before. It's a long ball that should be dealt with. It's not dealt with. A defender should do a lot better at Disney, and the ball ends up in the back of net. But honestly, we're going to go deeper, because it's a simple long ball that Barisic has to go up and header. If you look it back, Lundstrom's expecting Barisic to come with the header, so Lundstrom starts to slow down because he's thinking, oh, left back's coming to get that. But for whatever reason, Barisic actually drops backward, and it's even worse than that, because he's no longer even in the defensive line. He actually drops beyond the defensive line. I don't know what was going on with Barisic defensively. Again, I've said that a lot over the years. And then the big boy up top for Livingston turns John Souttar far too easily. Honestly, I've not seen a turn that easy since Anakin Skywalker turned to the dark side for Padme, ladies and gentlemen. Honestly, the way he just gets turned and moved out the way. And then, to be fair, it's a wonderful finish, little chip finish. John McLaughlin's having to come out because he's gambled that, or he saw this breakdown, and he's saying, I'm going to have to come and get this because no one else is getting it. It gets dinked. Is that McLaughlin's fault? No, in my opinion. Whose fault it is? Barisic and John Souttar's. Let's not get it frickin' twisted. Horrific for them two. And that's the warning sign so far this season. That left side of your centre back and our left back. And it's so frustrating to see, because I sat here in yesterday's preview video saying this was the true test for John Souttar, and again we need to talk about it early on in today's video. Kane, Son, Big Clev on the right wing, we can understand. World class, absolute world class, and no being disrespectful to Big Noble up top for Livingston, but there's a bit of level there, and this was John Souttar's true test in the Scottish football. And when I tell you that man was running about heedless, honestly, I mean it, people. Towing a caravan, completely out muscled, out fought, getting too tight to his man, getting turned again far too easily, giving the ball away every time. It's up there in one of the worst in terms of starts and first appearances I've seen at the football club, and this may be too harsh to some people, but it was giving me Senderos vibes in the opening 50 minutes. I've been serious with that. Honestly, it never quite went as bad as that, but the first 15 minutes I'm going, what's happening here? And it never got any better for Big Soapy. And again, we've seen a lot of players have horrific games for Rangers and come in and go on to have a fantastic career. Rickson especially had a very poor first game. Sasa Papac had a very poor first Old Firm, especially in that. So again, it's no doom and gloom for John Souttar, but that was a real worry, because we were expecting him to have a good game there. He should have had a good game there, but he was a liability every single time they went after it. And you almost saw the Livingston game plan change to going after them and that's not a good thing to see a new signing be identified as the weak point, and that's where they were going to go. And what's probably the most frustrating thing to actually say, it wasn't just John Souttar that was struggling, because again he was struggling. My first thoughts in the opening 15-20 minutes of this game, I had Souttar, I had Barisic, and I had Scott Wright all struggling to really impact the game in any stretch of the imagination. Wright ran the ball out a couple of times, kept slowing it down, turning it back. Again, a couple of times he tried to run forward, but we need more for him, especially when we've got Rabbi there. I thought we'd have lit a light under him, like a fire under him, and he'd been gone for it. But no, it was too passive for Rangers, and passive was that first half. I think the only shot we got, or it wasn't even a shot, it was a cross for Tavernier with a free kick on the left-hand side that the goalie came out and smothered, but that was it. The only player that I actually saw that was willing to take the responsibility and say, right, I'll have a pop, let me try this, let me do this. The game's no gone the way that's probably been drew up on the board in the changing room, but let me try, was Tom Lawrence. And again, that is a new player. We talked about one new player for me who struggled badly all game in John Souttar. Lawrence, for me, at least showed you what he's capable of doing in terms of being a guy. I thought he got stuck on a lot defensively, stopped a lot of counter-attacks, but again, when he was given an opportunity, he was popping it. Again, he didn't score any or that today, but I'm happy with what I saw with Lawrence, because the goals will come because of how he plays, and that play style of having a pop is something we've been needing. And aye, without him in that team in the first half, I didn't think we'd have had a shot at all. Honestly, if you go back and look at it, Lawrence had 4 shots, I think he had 6 in the first half. No one else was willing to have a pop. So the game's bad right now, but it very near went to worse as in the 27th minute hit. It's a set piece after Wright gives away a silly free kick on the left hand side. It gets curled right in, and we allow a free header in the 8-yard box. Thankfully, John McLaughlin's kept his position, and it's a save right in his chest. It's probably not the greatest header at all, but that right there could have been absolute curtains in 2-0, 26 minutes into this game, people. And you know what's worse? See, when you go back and look at it, you talk about our set-piece defending, which has been horrific since genuinely since we won the league, if we're being honest, since we changed to this more analytics and fancy style set-piece defending, nobody on the post, look at us, we're so great and everything like that. Since we've changed to the analytics and everything like that, we are stinking at defending any set-piece, corners, free kicks. And if you think I'm maybe being too harsh and saying stinking, who was marking Livingston 6'3" centre half on the middle of the box from a free kick? Ryan Kent. What? Who's signing off on that? Like, what are we doing? Someone fix the set piece defending, please, and thank you. But aye, we got away with that one, and we go into half time. Couple weird nearlies and maybes in terms of crosses and that, but my main frustration honestly when the first 45th minute hit wasn't even the scoreline at that point, or even a Souttar's performance and how slack and lacklustre we were in the first half. It was the fact that the referee bottled it in sending off Canker, who should have been sent off. And to be fair to Scott Wright, this was one of the few things he'd done right in the opening 45 minutes, because he went after Canker a couple of times. Clear yellow for the first one, referee gets a right shocking challenge, and then just a couple minutes later, 3 minutes to be exact, Scott Wright gets the ball, turns him, and he runs up and he just kicks the back of his legs, people. Just wipes him out. It's the most blatant yellow card I've ever seen, but for whatever reason there is no second yellow here. And honestly, it's a new season, it's the first game, but I'm already tired of the referees and the officiating. It's horrific. You should have saw Martindale's face. He was like, oh, that man's not been that nervous for 5 years, people, but it gets away with it. And you saw how Martindale responded instantly, taking Canker off the park, because he knew the referee bottled it. He knew he should have been sent off. And aye, it's just frustrating that we're already one game in. The opening game of the SPFL season has such a blatant and obvious refereeing blunder. But aye, we go into half time. Changes had to be had. My changes at half time would have been Sands for Souttar, who again nearly gifted a goal just before the actual half time, by the way, as well, where he gets turned far too easily again on the halfway line, but Goldson bails him out perfectly by holding up the defender, the attacker, gets his foot in it, pushes him back a little bit, and we survive that. So Sands would have been my change at half time for Souttar, and again Tillman would have been the guy that I wanted on for Scott Wright, and we got one of them as Tillman came on for Scott Wright. And I'll be honest, I talked Tillman up very highly, and I rate Tillman very highly, but I'm very surprised about how easily, or how easy he made it look to adjust to Scottish football, because almost within his first touch we went, holy crap, he's ready to go. First touch passing, moving it, the strength, the ability to beat a man, running in beyond, wanting the ball, demanding the ball. I loved everything I saw for Tillman. Well, maybe not everything, because there was a chance I feel like he probably should have scored, but we'll speak about it in a minute. But what a performance for him. Another new signing who drastically changed the game, because I think if we didn't have a Tillman and we're bringing on maybe another guy in for there, I don't think we're winning this game. I think Tillman was so important just to get closer to the striker, create some space for the other players. He was excellent. What did you honestly think about Tillman? I know it was only 45 minutes, but did he do anything for you? Did he impress you? Let me know down in the comment section below, because we move into the second half now, and we at least got a shot on target in the 48th minute. If you're having your cutting inside, hitting one with his left peg. But it was almost one of those things that we'd done so much, right? We had put the ball in time and time again, and there were so many times the ball just drifted across the box, drifted across the goal, and no one was there for tap-ins. You started to feel that way, like, I've seen this story before, I know how it ends, it's going to be frustrating all night freaking long, as Lionel Richie once sang. But then, just out of nothing, and I mean nothing, Ryan Kent shows what he's capable of. The quick feet, opened the body up, cut inside, and this cross right here is scrumdiddlyumptious. Honestly, Augustus Galut would have been all air, this bad boy, as he puts it right on the money for Kolak, who's timed his run, drifting from one centre-back into the space. Glorious, he's away celebrating, I'm up, I'll be honest with you, I was convinced it was a goal, and then I'm seeing Kolak turn round and look sad, and I'm like, no, didn't say it's offside, and then the offside flag goes up, and I'm like, Christ, was he offside? How is he offside there? Then I see the replay, and he's no offside. There's not one bit of him that's offside, ladies and gentlemen. He's a yard onside, and it's so frustrating because the linesman is straight in line with, he can see it perfectly. So that's a referee bottled a red card, and that's a linesman bottled and got a horrific decision on a clear onside goal. It's infuriating, people. VAR can't come any sooner, because if it was here, this game would have been a hell of a lot easier on this ticker. And I feel for Kolak, because it was a hard shift today up top. I know no many people like him or anything like that, but he done enough, and he done what he was supposed to do. He got the end of a cross, put the ball into the back of net, he scored a perfectly good goal, but the linesman screwed us. So we were robbed a moment of genuine quality, and again it just added to the tension and the pressure on the ticker. But then we made a couple subs, and I'm kind of skipping over a couple of things where again Souttar was running forward with the ball, giving the ball away. He just looked like he's hit. We've all had a bad game, we've all been in our own heads, we've all seen it happen. It just wasn't his day. It had to come off the park, and Souttar came off for Sands, who I wanted on at half time, and like that, the back line changed, like that, people. But also we made another attacking substitution as Glenn Kamara came off for Scotty Arfield. Now I fired out on social media as soon as it happened. I was like, at least someone new will be able to get into the frickin' box, because what was happening is Kolak and Tillman was taking people in, right, and creating the space, but then Kamara was standing at the edge of the box waiting on the ball to come out. No, get into the box, make son. And that's what's frustrating about Glenn Kamara. So we know what Arfield can do. He's an impact player, and again, when we are being so offensive and we've got so many men going forward, just let him drift. He's not a starter anymore, and I still stand by that. But again, he's got the attacking instincts that a Glenn Kamara doesn't have, especially in that point, and obviously it paid dividends just a couple minutes later. But before we get to the equaliser, let's talk about something mad that happened in the game. Barisic, again, stinking defensively. Again, he's always the same. If something goes wrong earlier in the game, he's horrific. That's just what happens, people. If everything's good and we're playing well and we're scoring goals and we're winning games, he's one of the best that I've seen with a wand of a left foot. But it's that Jekyll and Hyde type performance. But it just shows you how football can be, right? Couldn't kick his own arse through the entire game. He tries to do a cross here to Kolak. He completely overhits it, and almost Ronaldinho versus David Seaman all those years ago. It looks like it's drifting in. I think the goalie gets a fingertip to this, you might correct me in the comments, and he hits it onto the bar, onto the post, and I'm going, I'm like that gif, you know, that holy Jesus gif. I'm falling down saying, how's that not went in? And then Tillman, the ball falls to him, and I'm like, hit it! And then he hits it, but somehow, some way, the goalie gets up and saves it. And I'll be honest, it's at that point there I went, I'm not going to be happy in this. I've just tried to put a lid on my hat. Like, honest, what am I doing? won my life. Anyway, I wasn't happy at that point, and I thought I wouldn't be happy in the recap. But Ryan Kent again grabs the game, but I'm going to have to put this lid down. I don't know what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Ryan Kent grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck once again with a wonderful ball in. And again, the run for Kolak and Tillman to put the Livingston defence here. And it's just clever by Arfield. He runs in completely unmarshalled, unmarked. And it's a great ball. It's a great flicked header. And we get the goal we well and truly deserve. It was 1-1 right there. Gone on 5-1 there if we had more. Wee bit luck here or there, or somebody in the right position, or somebody gambling at the back post. So we're getting it to 1-1. We're feeling it now, ladies and gentlemen. And then we end up just attacking them right away. I can't actually remember who wins the ball back here. I think it might be Sands. Somebody can let me know. Anyway, from the kick-off, we get the ball quickly. We get it. We zip it to Kolak, who cuts inside, wins us a free kick on the left-hand side of, our attacking side for the Livingston box. And we're thinking, right, just let somebody else take the free kick. Because at that point, Tavernier had already wasted one. Barisic had already wasted one. I was starting a petition wanting somebody else to take it. But then I saw Tavernier push Barisic out the white. And then I started getting a flashback to his free kick goal that he had versus Celtic. And then I remembered that whenever we need someone, Tavernier is usually the man to step up. So my excitement hit the roof. I was looking forward to it. And honestly, just the angle, the way it curves right into the back of net, just hit the target in Scottish football. And you'll put the ball into the back of net. Wonderful free kick for the skipper, who now makes it 2-1 to Rangers. But also is now just 4 goals away from Mark Hateley's Rangers total, people, in terms of putting a ball into the back of the net. Sorry, I don't know if you still didn't like him, but we will never, ever, ever see the likes of him again. They just didn't exist, people. He is 4 goals away from Mark Hateley's goal scoring total for Rangers. He's a right back. It's absolutely absurd. We've turned the game on our head in 101 seconds. It's completely flipped, but it's well and truly deserved. And now it's just about seeing the game out. And this is where I want to give James Sands a wee bit of appreciation right here, because I thought he was important. Again, we took off Lawrence at this point. We brought in Jacko, who again was excellent at calming things down, being in the right position. But it was the coolness of Sands. And people were saying online when I was tweeting about wanting him owner, and like, no, he's going to get bullied if Souttar can't handle him. But it's not always about who's the strongest, people. It's about using this. If you've got a big guy backing into you, take a step back, have him moving just before the ball comes. Then he go side to side with him and hold the boy up so he can turn you. Sands uses this, and that's the best asset you can have as a football player. And I thought the way he won a couple of big headers was so important. I thought the way he was communicating with Connor. I think Goldson likes playing with Sands. They've got a really good sense of communication. They seem to be always on the same line and everything like that. And for me, he was excellent, and one of the main reasons we kept it so calm at the back. Again, there'll be people saying, I never heard his name. I never saw. Exactly, people. How many times did you hear Souttar's name in the first half? Did he play well? No. How many times did you hear Sands' name in the second half? Exactly. And how well did he play? That's what you want for your second half, ladies and gentlemen. So I thought Gio, and to be fair, because I've been critical in the past and that, I think Gio absolutely nailed it with his substitutions. I thought Tillman was so important to come in to get closer to Kolak and create the gaps for the middle of the park. I thought Sands coming in was the right move for John Souttar, and I thought Arfield, after you've brought on a Tillman to do the hard yards and create the space, given a guy like an Arfield, again, that'll probably be filled up with another player's role in Rabi and all that. We've got all our boys back to Morelos season. I mean, that'll probably be a Kolak's role as the season goes on, to be that other last-ditch attacking option. But Arfield is brilliant with his and continues his ridiculous goal-scoring form at Livingston. But full credit to Giovanni. I thought he absolutely nailed it this afternoon. And it's glorious to be able to sit here and think about a win. That's my thoughts and opinions on the game. But Yilmaz can't come sooner enough, and also Ben Davies can't get fit enough. But for me, with the next game coming, and I want to ask you in the comment section below, Sands or Souttar, who are you starting for the next game if Big Ben isn't able to start for Rangers? That's the question for me. It has to be Sands all day. I know it's harsh, I know it's one game, but it's a Champions League qualifier. I don't think we can afford to take any risks. Sands there, cool, calm, composed. I think he'll fit European football as well. So that's what I think. I've got a dry throat. I'm going to wrap up today's video. Absolutely buzzing. Love everyone that went out there and played this afternoon. Made my weekend, right? I'm buzzing now, and I can't wait to see what your thoughts and opinions are down there in the comment section below. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I've been CJ92. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.